Hi, my name is Mercedes Zepkowski, and this is my personal reflection presentation prepared for Business 480. To begin, I'll give a brief introduction of myself and my experiences at WLC, and then I'll head into my experiences within my major and within Business Capstone. I'll get into my Clifton strengths and my mission statement, and then I will wrap up with my next steps for my future out of college, my gratitude for my experience at WLC, and then wrap things up. So, to get into my introduction and deciding factors for why I came to WLC, I'm currently 22 years old. I am a senior at WLC, and I'm a double major in digital marketing and art. And the main contributing factor for my decision to head to WLC was actually my parents. I am a transfer to WLC, and my previous college didn't have the major that I was looking for, nor did it have a small student to professor ratio like WLC does have. And so my parents were that initial driving force to make me go to WLC. In addition, I saw that we had programs in ceramics and that we offered 3D art courses. And this was something that I was really interested in because I have intentions to make and sell my own ceramics and pottery. And then my final decision for why to come to WLC would be that they have a digital marketing major. At the time, this wasn't very popular across colleges in Wisconsin, and I thought that it was going to be a new, exciting opportunity since other colleges didn't have this program that I could look into, and it could maybe give me a leg up when it comes to applying to jobs. So, getting into some notable experiences that I've had at WLC, a major one for me was being involved on the Student Senate both my junior and senior year. Prior to my junior year, I had had no student government or involvement experiences, and so being the chief commuter representative was completely new for me. And it was actually a lot of fun because although there are some new struggles of learning how to use new software, figuring out how to budget, and then kind of just figuring out what a lot of people would all really enjoy, and only being one person making that deciding factor. That was really hard for me, and it was new because I had never been entrusted with a larger budget before or had to make decisions for a lot of people. But it was really fun to join in the different happiness and joys and experiences others would bring back to me from different things that I was involved or influenced. And then another notable experience for my time at WLC would just be my overall academic independence within my courses. A lot of my business courses offered client projects throughout the semesters, and so this allowed me and a team of other students to really work independently and to conduct our own research, our own talking points, and our own goals. In addition, in my art courses, I had a lot of opportunities to complete independent studies or just to have self-led coursework. This was really nice for me in that spectrum, as I was able to really hone my skills and focus on the areas that I really enjoyed and wanted to focus on versus being told what to do. And so this really helped shape me academically because it gave me a new perspective on education and academics, and that it's not necessarily information that you are required to learn and things that you have to do in order to be considered educated, but it can be about things that you want to learn about, and that you can still be educated and you can still be informed and knowledgeable in things that you want to learn about, and those things are still important and can lead to different experiences and opportunities later on, and it's not just things that you are told that you have to learn. Education is a wide variety of experiences and knowledge and information, and there's a lot of different paths that you can go with it. And so I feel like this kind of translated to some of my personal experiences in which being able to explore academically what I enjoy doing, this helped me to explore personally what I like to do, as then academics wasn't just something that I kept at school, but it was something that I brought home with me. And I would start doing research and going above and beyond my homework and getting more into the topics that I enjoyed learning about in both of my majors. And then finally, these two notable experiences shaped my spiritual growth at WLC because of the constant connection with God, and God being present on campus. It's something that's talked about a lot. And so I feel like just having that constant reminder kind of just creeps its way into your academic and personal experiences and you as a whole. It's not something that you can just separate, but it's something that's woven into daily life. So getting a bit into my School of Business experiences and takeaways, a big one for me would be client interactions. As I previously mentioned, a lot of courses in the School of Business allow you to conduct client projects, studies, audits, all sorts of different things where you or a group are working with a client to come to a solution or a conclusion about something. And so this really showed me the experience of maintaining good working relationships, both with your other group mates and with that client, of keeping things professional, being timely, respectful, and just how to work with others in a professional manner. In addition, the School of Business taught me a lot about networking and how a lot of different experiences and opportunities can come from networking, and the value of having those in your circle that are in your industry, or even people that aren't as closely tied to your industry but are still adjacent, because they can give you a lot of different perspective, and they have other sources or other information that they may know about as well. Finally, one of my takeaways from the School of Business would be about group projects. This again taught me the importance of motivation, responsibility, and taking action steps. Group projects in college are a lot more highly structured than group projects in high school, and so you have to be self-motivated. No one is going to tell you to do the work, you just have to do it. It teaches you responsibility of saying that you're going to do something and then actually fulfilling your end of the deal and doing what you said that you were going to do. Again, no one's going to be holding your hand. And then finally, group projects teach you how to take action steps of planning who does what role, and I'm going to get the research done by when, and then have the proposed suggestions done by when. It gives you the opportunity to, again, take your own education into your hands and run with it. So then getting into my senior capstone experiences, another big one here for me was, again, the group project, working on those interpersonal skills, organizing, and then being both a leader and a follower, because there's always going to be leaders and followers, and we talk a lot about leadership, but not a lot about followership. And how do you be a follower in a project, but how do you still stay engaged? I feel like having this experience of working with a group in capstone has really allowed me to better develop my professional skills of, again, being there to hold your slack and to be a good communicator and to be organized. And then again, this kind of leaches kind of how spirituality is interconnected with your academics and your personal life. What you gain professionally reaches into your personal life. If you're on top of emailing and communicating and being effective and organized in your professional life, you're again going to be doing that in your personal life. So then getting into the professional mentor aspect of capstone, this taught me how to have a mentor-mentee dynamic. I hadn't experienced this before, and so I'm really appreciative that I was able to experience this while I was still in college before I entered the workforce, because had I not had this experience in college, I probably wouldn't do it later on. But having the mentor-mentee experience has been really valuable to me, because I have a trusted person that I can go to that's in my field, that I can ask questions that might not be applicable to the rest of the class, or something that my mentor may know better than any of my other professors. And with my mentor, I've learned a lot about making mistakes and how you recover from them, and then the expectations versus realities of entering the job force. So I really appreciate having this experience from Capstone. And then my third experience from Capstone that I value was the in-class workshops. And this is because it taught me knowledge and skills that I previously didn't have, but I appreciate now knowing. I know we went through a workshop on navigating conflict or building your brand, how to network, resignation letters. Like, all of those sorts of things are just good things that we hadn't really been taught in depth about before, but they're just kind of side things that make you wonder, like, hey, how do I do that? So it was really nice to have those like taught and worked with me, so that way I know about them before I go into the workforce. So then, all in all, my biggest takeaway from Capstone would be about avoiding procrastination, assigning roles and tasks, and then working on collaboration. And again, I feel like all of these are going to form me to be a better individual, a better contributor, a better team member and leader in the workforce. And then again, leach into my personal life of staying on top and organized of household things, communicating with friends and family, and being organized with my own goals and missions. So getting into my 5 Clifton strengths, my strengths are context, input, intellection, consistency, and strategic. So context goes into a lot of looking back on answers to help you look forward into the future and make a plan. Input allows me to be very inquisitive and to find information and find what is useful to me. Intellection causes me to really focus and reflect and think and do those things to understand people, understand a situation, understand how to navigate the future, and again, kind of going into that planning. My 4th skill, consistency, is I enjoy balance, stability, and fairness. I like when things make sense, and I want it to be fair for everybody. I don't like favoritism or individualism. And then my 5th Clifton strength is strategy or strategic, which is where I like to evaluate the information or the past to find the best course of action of how to move forward. So therefore, my mission statement is, I am built to learn from the past, seek meaningful insights, reflect deeply, and create balanced strategic plans that lead to fair and thoughtful outcomes. I feel like this is pretty all-inclusive of who I am, because I am a person that very much enjoys information. I enjoy reflecting. I enjoy pondering over things and contemplating different outcomes and different scenarios to figure out which one is going to lead to the best outcome for everybody. And again, kind of getting into that fairness and that consistency of finding thoughtful outcomes that are going to work for everybody in the team or everybody in the company, and making sure that everybody is able to benefit from those outcomes or access those outcomes. So my next steps for what I'm going to do after college and implementing my skills that I've learned from my time at WLC is I'm going to continue working on leading and following. I feel like being a good leader is a very valuable asset to a team, but being able to work with a team and be a good follower is also valuable, so I want to continue working on that in my professional life. In addition, I want to work on networking. You can never have too broad of a circle, I feel. And the more people that you know, the more events that you go to, the more contact points you make, the better you set yourself up for, again, those different experiences, opportunities, knowledge, success. And my final next step is self-motivation. I want to continue working on this in my next stage of life. Just because, again, this is something that's good for you professionally, spiritually, emotionally, personally. I feel like self-motivation is really one of those crucial skills to have in life. And I feel like no matter where I go, no matter what job I do, whether it be in marketing or not, I feel like I can use all of these things that I've learned here at WLC. So, wrapping up, the thing that I'm most grateful for at WLC is having professors who have application experience in their teaching field and who actually care about what they teach. You can really tell when someone cares about what they're talking about. And in the business department, I've always had faculty and staff who genuinely care about what they're teaching about, and it is so refreshing because you know that they're giving you information, and you know that they're giving you advice that is suitable for you because they have the knowledge and the experience to back it, where other professors at other institutions don't have as much of that experience and can tell you textbook wise what you should do but can't tell you practically what you can do. And so I really appreciate that here at WLC, and it's made my time very enjoyable. And that is the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening.